Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marcello Currents reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So this message is going to be America allows Americans, the American government allows Americans to have sex with children who are still in high school. The American government allows Americans to still have sex with children who are still in high school. It's 7:35 right now in New York City. Times where high school children are in school, in high school, right here in New York. Right here in New York, the age of consent is 17. So you know what that means in actuality? In all actuality? That means the American government has allowed New York to have sex with children that are still in high school. I know you thought I was done with this, didn't you? Yeah, you thought I was done with it. It's too many angles. It's too many things I have to point out. It's too many things that you need to see, right? And it's got to be made known. All the satellites of this situation, all the information of this situation. It all got to be addressed. Now, the actuality is what half of y'all don't think about, because most Americans don't do no deep thinking. You didn't think about the fact that with the age of consent at 17 in New York, the American government, the state of New York, allows adults to have sex with high school children. Well, 17-year-old girls are in high school. They're not in college. Some may excel and be in college because they're intelligent, they have a high IQ. But most 17-year-old girls are still in high school, right or wrong, guys? Most 17-year-old boys are still in high school, right or wrong, guys? And if you look at the other places across the country where the age of consent is 16, that's definitely in high school. Like where I'm from, North Carolina, the age of consent is 16. Those are high school children. So the American government, let's review the facts. Let's review the facts here. I told y'all, this isn't conspiracy theory. This is facts 101, spiritual warfare 101. God's kingdom bringing warfare 101. Praise the Lord. Let's review the facts. The age of consent is under 18 in 40 states. So 40 states allows adults to have sex with high school children. That's a 7 hour. 40 states. This is a law right here. 40 states in America allows adults to have sex with high school children. Yeah. See, when I add all the components, when I tell you the whole truth and the full truth and nothing but the truth, you see how bad it is. Because you didn't think about this part. Because you sit up and justify, oh yeah, well, 16 is almost a grown adult. 17 is almost there. No, they're still in high school. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about today. They're still in high school while you're trying to justify it. You know, any 16-year-old girls, the average 16-year-old girls that's out of high school, most of them still in high school, right? Most 17-year-old girls also are still in high school, except for the ones who excel and go to college early. But for the most part, 17-year-old girls, we all know, are still in high school. Now, they may be in their last year, doesn't matter. They still in high school, technically speaking. They're still going to school. They're still going to grade school. New York, the state of New York, allows adults to have sex and penetrate high school girls. That's look, we need to speak it just how it is. While they're in school right now. They're in school right now, I think, right? Well, at least if they're not, this is the time that they usually are in school. Your country allows adults to marry, to have sex with children that are still in high school. Here's another whammy. Here's the double whammy for you. Child marriage allows adults to marry children that's still in high school. Yeah, so you perverted. That's kind of cool with you, ain't it? Yeah, you're marrying children that's in high school. And they're not in high school. Yeah, that's the part you leave out. Okay, it's one thing for two children to be going to, dating each other and stuff. But a fully grown man marrying a girl that's in high school, a fully grown man penetrating a girl that's in high school, keep in mind they still have the brain of a child as well. They still have the anatomy of a whole child. Your country allows adults to have sex with high school children by law. And you sitting up playing psychological games with the community, sending pedophilia images. They using secret societies. The American government is using secret societies to send pedophilia thoughts to the brains of those who they want to assassinate the character of. Oh yeah, if you get some strange images to your brain, that's either the Freemasons, the Illuminati, or the American government, or all three. Yeah, that's who it is. You're exposed, buddy. We know. Meanwhile, you got the American. Listen. Meanwhile, you got the American government has issued 40 states with the right to have sex with high school girls. 16-year-old girls is in high school. 16-year-old girls, without a doubt, is in high school. North Carolina has no problem with you having sex as an adult with a 16-year-old girl that's still in high school. Huh? They have no problem with that. I was in the 9th grade in 16. I was in the 9th grade at 16 years old. So America allows, by law, your American community, like as if it's some type of delicacy, to have sex with girls that's in the 9th and 10th grade. Yeah. See, the problem is, America stopped liking fully grown women. You start resulting back to liking children, liking youth, being obsessed with youth. That's your problem. You're obsessed with the young. Oh, come on. I'm right. I am right. You're obsessed with the young. That's your problem. It ain't my problem. It's your problem. That's why you're projecting it onto me, because it's really, in actuality, it's your problem, and I got the facts to prove it. You got 40 states with the age of consent under 18. You got 44 states with child marriage. You just passed your last law July 1st, 2019 that allows adults to marry children at any age. It looks like it's your problem, not mine. It looks like you're obsessed with children, not me, when I got a fully grown woman. That's a 7th hour. It looks like it's you, buddy, and you look like an idiot when it obviously is you, which I've proved by your laws. Still got something to say? Still got something to do? I don't see how. You marrying children, including high school girls and grade school girls, middle school girls in your country. Well, in Tennessee, 2006, yeah, we hold on to things. Y'all hold on to everything else. Y'all talk about stuff that happened earlier than that, later than that, earlier, stuff that happened long ago than that. 2006, 3 10-year-old girls in Tennessee was married right here in the millennium. In the millennium. 3 10-year-old girls. Those girls, what was it, elementary? Married right here in America. This was in 2006. That's not a terribly long time ago, guys. That's not a terribly long time ago. It's less than 20 years ago. It's less than 20 years ago. Less than 20 years ago, 3 10-year-old girls were married right here in America, in Tennessee. And you talking about what? The youngest boy that was married here was 11 years old. The youngest boy that was married in America was 11 years old. Right here in America, 11 years old, he was still in elementary, probably in the 5th grade. I was 12 in the 6th grade. So he probably was finishing up his 5th year of grade school. You can't beat me with psychological stuff. That's not going to hold up, buddy. We got facts and reality. I dare one of these dumb wackos try to come my way talking about, well, we see something on your mind. Yeah, you playing with the prophet of God, buddy. I see through everything you're doing. All those people you got down on the sidewalk, I see through all of that. Yeah, that never worked. See how they doing. I bet they suffering. You can't play with me, man. You can go play with these civilians who are unaware. You have high school kids having sex with adults by law by the American government. You don't stand a chance, man. Don't you see that? You do not stand a chance. You don't have nothing on me. Why you thinking, oh, well, we're going to still go after you? Well, here's the part that you forgot about. You have nothing. Yeah, you forgot about that part. Yeah, that's a 7 hour. You don't have anything. Why you say, well, we still focusing on you. Well, you left out a special part. The special part where you don't have credible evidence where I've been 18 with someone under 18. You don't have that. Okay, that's a 7 hour. Do you have me being with someone as 18 with someone under 18? You don't, do you? That's a 7 hour. A whoa. But we got you with 40 states having sex with high school girls. Pretty sure that's what they after. They after the females. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. They didn't make those laws for the boys. They are obsessed with the female here in this country. Oh, so you think they made these laws, and I'm doing a video about this. You think they made these laws for boy penis? Come on now, think about it. You think they made these laws for boy penis? At any age and all this various ages. They made those laws for female children's vaginas. That's exactly why they made the laws. Yeah. You have an obsession with female child vagina. Yeah, see, back when I was coming up, the time in the 80s and the 90s, people wanted to grow up. People couldn't wait to grow up. Females couldn't wait to wear makeup and look like they were in their 20s. Females couldn't wait to be a woman. Times have changed now. Speed up to now. Women don't want to let go of being a girl. Look how they wear their hair. Pigtails. You want a woman wearing pigtails? Man, come on. You can't be serious. And in actuality, she can't let go of her youth. She worships her youth. Don't let her look young. She'll look like that forever. She'll wear her hair like that forever. Insinuating, many times, a childlike sexual fantasy. That's a 7 owl. Oh, those girls don't be wearing those plaid skirts, insinuating that they're insinuating a child fantasy. They don't wear those plaid skirts for that reason. Most girls do. Insinuating what? Drum roll, they're still in high school. Come stick it in, we're still in high school. These girls wear these fully grown women wear pigtails and plaid skirts like from high school. So they fulfilling these perverted girl-like fantasies of these men. Oh, okay. So you're a fully grown woman that has the desire to wear pigtails and a plaid skirt that you wore in high school. Something's not right. Something's not right. You ain't came up with no better wardrobe than what you wore in high school? You ain't came up with no better hairstyle than the one that you had in high school? I'm telling you the truth. They worship their youth. They worship girls. They worship the youth. Back in the day, we worship. I ain't gonna say we worship, but we had love and infatuation with the girl that was 5'11", 6 foot tall. The one that had the long legs, wearing the earrings and the long hair and the obviously feminine clothes that only women could wear. That's what the men in the 80s and the 90s and the kids, that's what all the boys in the 90s, the males in the 90s were infatuated with. Not girls with pigtails. Now you see what I'm saying. Go look back at what the sex appeal of the 90s and the 80s. Go back and look at the sex appeal of those times. It wasn't pigtails, was it? It wasn't. It wasn't plaid skirts, was it? That's what I'm saying. No one found that attractive back then. So why do they find it attractive now? When we're more advanced, shouldn't they be looking more sophisticated at this point as women, going to another level of looking feminine and as in woman-like? Why isn't that happening? Because the world became more evil, sexuality became more perverted. And now people went back to liking children, and girls went back to worship, to now worshiping their youth. Look at me, I'm young. It doesn't turn me on. A fully grown woman turns me on. Okay? And that's my desire. Fully grown woman, which I have. See, so I prove by facts what I desire. So I've already drawn my gun and I shot you, boom. Now as you laying there in your own blood, you know why you got shot? Because you've proven by facts that you are the contrast of what I like. Or your desires is the contrast of what I desire. You've proven by facts as a community that you like girls. Okay, you like girls and boys. Okay, let's talk about this too, because I know the American community. You want to sit back and act like, oh well, the American government did that. We have nothing to do with it. So you think I'm naive? You think I don't think you have some kind of sexual desire for children? How is it only the American government? And you ain't, a matter of fact, and also check this, you ain't saying nothing about the age of consent at 17 in New York. Anybody objecting of that? Anybody trying to get that overturned? You see what I'm saying? So listen, you ain't fooling nobody. Your American community has hidden sexual desire for children. So you telling me you got the age of consent at 14, under 18 in 40 states, and it's only the American government that feels this way. You didn't know about child marriage. That's a different story. But you do have sexual desire for children. That's the 7th hour. Oh yeah, that's what we got you right there, buddy. Look, who you think you fooling? I've heard enough American songs. I've watched enough American TV. I've watched enough American culture to know that you have desire for children. Oh yeah, that's the part that you're telling on yourself. The entertainment industry. The entertainment industry is telling everything we need to know about you and your desire for children and your sexuality. And I'm gonna do a video on that. The entertainment industry tells us clearly that you like children. Oh, okay, man. Why is it showing all these childlike images of these girls, almost insinuating that they're adults, insinuating that they're ready for sex? You see it everywhere. Oh, it's just my imagination running away with me. You got these girls glammed up. I can't stand to see no girl with no baby with makeup on. It's ridiculous. And then you wonder why men looking at her that way. You don't put no lipstick and no makeup on no baby. That's ridiculous. What is wrong with you people? You know who the first people who started wearing makeup was? Prostitutes. They had to wear makeup to signify that they were whores. Did you know that? They had to wear lipstick in certain cultures to signify they were whores and ladies of the night, so that they would not be perceived as upstanding women and clean women and married women. They had to wear it. They had to wear the lipstick to be signified as whores. And you got your child wearing that. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. Take it how you want to take it. Hey, I didn't make it up. That's what they did. That's the facts. That's the things that they did. In certain cultures, that's what they did. They wore makeup to signify, yes, I am a whore. Like I said, you have it right here in New York, the age of consent is 17. This means men are having sex with girls that's going to school. She might be living at his house. You know these days how it is. You know how it is these days. She might be living at his house. She may be living in his house, going to school from his house. If she comes from a troubled family that don't care nothing about her, they don't care what she do, she might be living at some guy's house. You don't think there's no girls that's doing that? Living at some grown man's house that's probably well into his late 30s and to early 50s. Between that bracket, late 30s and early 50s, having sex with a girl that's going to high school. Now it's coming to reality, because now you need to see the schedule of the people that they having sex with. Yeah, the schedule is high school, no job. Well, it might be a part-time job, but she's going to high school too. Especially those states that have the age of consent at 16, like North Carolina. They're definitely in high school, no doubt about that. And yet, while they're in high school, they can have sex with fully grown men. And my thing is, all I'm saying is stop the hypocrisy. You know, stop the hypocrisy. Stop acting like you're Batman and you're some superheroes and you're fighting the pedophiles when your country has the age of consent under 18 in 40 states, which means 40 states allows adults to have sex with high school children. Stop the fakery, man. Stop the fakery, man. Stop the fraudulence. It's fraudulent, man. Don't you understand that? It's fraudulent for you to act like you're out here as Batman or some vigilante and you're ignorant of your own country having the age of consent at under 18 in 40 states allowing adults to have sex with children that's still in grade school, still going to get an education. You're letting your community have sex with females that's still getting an education. Haven't even got the education. Shouldn't you wait till they get the education? So they don't have sex on the brain? You know what sex can do to a female that's just introduced to it? That's all she want to do. That's literally all she want to do. That's why some girls start skipping school. They in heat. They got a taste of sex and it's over. Now they dropped out of school. Now they got kids. Now they got to work somewhere at Wendy's. Your government, your American government is allowing children that are in high school to engage in sexual activity with adults. They're in the sexual ring out here. I know you don't see it and you're just so naive, you don't think it's happening. That's how naive you are. Okay, you got people breaking the law, doing all kind of devious things. You don't think people taking advantage of the law? That's a common sense thing, man. And you're so green and naive. You might as well be in high school yourself. We might as well get you a seat in high school. Put your name on the desk and get you a seat in high school. If people are breaking the law, doing devious sexual things, you don't think it's people that take advantage of the laws? Oh, that's unheard of. But they break it, but they doing crimes at the same time, but that's unheard of. In your world, it's unheard of because you're not doing it and you don't know nobody that's doing it. But you do know, you see the news and you see people locked up for sexual deviant crimes. So put two and two together. If they're breaking the laws sexually, you don't think they're taking advantage of the laws sexually? Again, if they're breaking the law sexually speaking, you don't think they're taking advantage of the laws sexually speaking? It's common sense, bro. But they ain't gonna broadcast it to you. They are not gonna broadcast it to you and say, hey, guess what? I'm having sex with a girl in high school. You know anybody that's stupid enough to do that? They're gonna be discreet. You know how discreet these other people are with the things they do, even straight people, gay people, many people are discreet. So you don't think they're going to be discreet when they're having sex with girls that's in high school? That's why you don't know about it. All you see is her, or all you see is him. You don't really see them together, right? You never see them together. You just see a girl walking. Yeah, you didn't think about that, did you? The girl that's walking around. That's the one that's probably going to the guy's house. All you see her doing is walking and you leave it alone. Yeah, she's the one that's doing it. Oh, you think you're gonna be out there holding hands with her? Come on, man, use your brain. Even with New York allowing it, just like they allow gay marriage, many gay people are not gonna walk around holding hands outside. They're too scared. There's many people that are in the closet. So you don't think these perverts, pedophiles are in the closet? Oh yeah, they in the closet, buddy. Because they fear what your community is going to do to them. I don't know why. Because y'all are not protesting about what your government is doing. You seem like you're cool with it. You seem like you're cool with the age of consent being 17 here in New York. So why should they be scared of you? Well, you ain't saying nothing about it. You know about it. I'm pretty sure you do. I'm pretty sure you know about it. How come you, so why should they be scared of you? Nevertheless, Don't hold your breath waiting to see some guy walking with a 17-year-old girl down the street. Don't wait. Don't hold your breath. You're probably not gonna see that. They too discreet. 17-year-old girls got phones. End of story. That's all you gotta say. That's all we have to say. Text the phone. She comes in. Boom. All you seen was a girl walking by herself, which you ain't gonna pay no attention to. It's a girl after all. You have no interest in girls. Most of you don't. So you ain't gonna pay no attention to her. You're gonna see she's a girl and just go about your way. Little do you know, or have known, all these years, these little 17-year-old girls have been walking to guys' house. They've been walking to guys' house. Think about it. Think about all the girls out there that come into their beauty, right? Think about the girls that come into their beauty at 17, 16. You don't think no men are bribing them with money and gifts and food even to come to their place? You don't think so? See, the impurity is not recognizing that a human being is beautiful. A baby can be beautiful. A child can be beautiful. A girl can be beautiful. It's not when you acknowledge the beauty that's the problem. You can say, "Oh, my daughter is so beautiful." You're not trying to have sex with your daughter, are you? You can say, "Oh, my niece is so beautiful." You're not trying to have sex with her, are you? You can acknowledge that a flower is beautiful. It's when you pluck the flower that's the problem. It's when you smell the flower that's the problem. It's when you take the flower home that's the problem. You got to leave the flower in the garden. You got to leave the flower where you seen it. And then when it's time, then at 18, then you can say, now this is no longer just a beautiful flower. This is a woman. Now you can partake of the beauty because everything is there. The mind is there. The desires, the sexual desires is fully there. A girl doesn't, I don't care what she do, she doesn't have the full sexual desire of a woman. A woman sits home and longs about sex. A woman sits home and longs about a man penetrating her. She naturally comes into these feelings of wanting her vagina penetrated. She wants someone to lick on her breast. As she's taking a shower, a woman is more aware of her whole body. This is why you should desire the woman, because she's already feeling these feelings. She's already ready. See, this is the natural feelings you should feel. I'm showing you what you should feel. If your wiring is messed up, I'm showing you why you should want the woman. If your mental wiring is thrown off, I'm showing you why you should want the woman. You should want the woman because she has these yearnings for a man. It's in her. She may hide it because she's classy and she's a woman, but she has these desires that you can tap into, and it's like a gift. Like she's been waiting for it. She's been waiting for a man. She's been thinking about it. She's been fantasizing about a man penetrating her, living with her, kissing on her. A woman has deep, complex fantasies about this that a girl couldn't possibly have because she hasn't lived long enough with her own body. A woman has lived long enough with her own body, working out, sweating, feeling her body. And then she thinks, wow, it would be nice to have a man to penetrate this vagina. Listen, you need to hear the real adult part. You need to hear this. So that your wiring, for you who are messed up, your wiring can understand why you should want the woman. Because she wants you to give it to her. I'm going to say it just like it needs to be said. A woman she is classy, she has it, but she wants someone, not everyone, but she wants someone to give it to her. She wants someone to penetrate her. I don't care how lovely, sweet, nice she may look, like she doesn't have a sexual thought in her mind. Don't be fooled by the beauty of a woman to think, oh, she's just an angel. She doesn't think about sex. That's foolishness. She has a sexual libido. She has a sex drive. Okay? And she gives that, a good woman gives that to the man that she chooses to be with, which makes it so special that you tapped into these feelings that she's already had. She's already had them before you came along because she's a woman. So you just meet, you come right face to face with all those feelings and you fulfill it. And it's one of the best feelings that you can have. God meant for you to have it. While everyone wants to demonize sex or deviate it from whatever extreme they go to, God made us to have sex. That's why you can't really judge people, because you go home and do the same thing. You laying up in your funky bed thinking about sex yourself. Right or wrong. That's why it's funny to me when people try to play around people talking about their pedophiles. Be careful with that. Because you got sexual desires yourself. And guess what? You're not perfect either. You're not perfect. Check yourself. You ain't perfect. Check your history. You're not perfect. Oh, okay. Oh, you don't got nothing questionable in your sexual history. Most average person has something questionable in their sexual history. That's a 7 hour. How much you want to put on that? How much you want to put on it? That you got this, that half of these Americans, y'all got something questionable in your sexual history. I guarantee you that. And that's the police, teachers, preachers, and everything in between. Man, come on. I don't care who it is, because I know human beings. And I am a human. And all I need to know is myself, to know that you also have something in your history that some people will find questionable. It's something. It's something. It may be a little of something, but it's something. Maybe something you said, maybe something you did. But either way it goes, for the average person that's absolutely normal, you have something questionable in your sexuality. So be careful with going about here judging people. Because I'm pretty sure I can find, if you tell me everything without taking something to the grave, like a lot of people want to do, half of y'all taking stuff to the grave, you ain't telling nobody. Half of the stuff you did as a kid, you taking it to the grave and you ain't telling nobody about it. But if you real with yourself, you got something that's questionable. You may be cool with it, but somebody on the outside might not understand. That's a 7 hour. Yeah, like you walking around here pure and you don't do nothing and you, come on. All I need to know is humans. That's all I need to know. And me being a human, I know humans. You have done something that's questionable in your sexual history if you're absolutely normal. If you're normal, you've done something questionable. All right? That's why with sexuality, it gets tricky. You can't go out here talk about pedophiles. I'm talking about specifically those pedophile witch hunters. Be careful, because you go home and jack off yourself. Oh, you go home and play with your vagina yourself. Women go home and you go out here and you a cop. Okay, you find a sexual deviance and you beating them down and you wish to kill them and all of this. But listen, you're a sexual creature yourself. So you got to be very careful. Yeah. Unless you become a hypocrite, which is one of the worst things to be. You can't even face yourself in the mirror because you're just as guilty as the people that you are pointing your fingers at. See, in my situation, my problem, I'm not saying that you won't have something questionable because you're human. And before you were more manly or womanly, you probably have something questionable before you realize what you need to be, right? I'm not talking about that because usually that happens in childhood. You may do something questionable before your eyes was open to what you should be doing, before your eyes was open to integrity and how we should conduct ourselves as adults, because you're not an adult, right? So your eyes can't be open to what adults do if you're not an adult. So I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about fully grown adults that eyes are totally open about children, right? About children. Obviously people that are not adults themselves, obviously not. And they have sex with them. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem right there. Because it destroys children. It destroys a child. It can. Now, children, you can't hold them to the highest degree of punishment. Now you're making yourself look like a fool because we pretty much are sure that you had something that you did questionable when you was a child. Oh, I'm pretty sure half of you, listen, listen, you got to remember, half of us have heard the sex history of our own companions. I know that the women I've dated, they've shared their heart with me. And many women that have been through some type of sexual questionable thing as a child. And we can sit here and play games like this is not the case. But I've already had experiences with women that tell me the things that they went through as children right here in America. Just things you wouldn't believe, or things that you are in denial about. These women are out here. I've dated enough people to see for myself. And this makes me conclude that most of you have something questionable in your sexuality. So be careful with how you judge it before you curse and destroy your whole community with your hypocrisy. See, the difference between me and you is I'm spiritual law enforcement. That's the difference. I'm spiritual law enforcement, which means whether I'm perfect or not, I'm here to enforce the spiritual laws, buddy. You don't ask the cop, are you perfect? You don't ask the cop, well, how are you doing today? Do you like me? Do you ask the cop, do he like you when he locks you up? It's ridiculous. I'm spiritual law enforcement. Don't worry about me. You just get arrested. You just go to jail. Okay? Don't worry about me. You're just going to be incarcerated. That's how that works. That's how that works. When you have someone that's spiritual law enforcement, you don't need to look at what I'm doing. Don't worry about that. I got that in check. Okay? The fact that I pulled your card should already tell you I got it in check. Well, your card is properly pulled, buddy. Half of y'all got questionable stuff in your sexuality. If you're real with yourself, you know what I'm talking about. Like I'm stupid. Imagine that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that for the sake of the ones that ride around, especially the ones, these little guys and all these little people that ride around and they be having like the phones and all of that, and they be trying to make fake profiles, catching pedophiles and stuff. Okay, all right. I see what you're doing. But here's the thing. You got 44 states with child marriage in your country. Shouldn't you be setting up profiles protesting about that? Shouldn't you be setting up profiles talking about that? You're not doing it, are you? and you have your own sexual life too. So don't walk around here like you're a Ghostbuster. Don't walk around here like you're a Ghostbuster, because you go home and you jack off the porn yourself. Oh, come on. You don't? Come on. You don't have sexual desires? You naturally have them, by the way. It's a natural feeling, you know. While you're trying to suppress your natural feelings, they're going to come out anyway. Like you walking around here like you don't do nothing. Who you think you fooling? You're a human being. I don't struggle with being human. Many of you do. You struggle with it. You struggle with the fact that you're not perfect. I don't struggle with that. I let God be God, and I let me be man. That's why I walk in excellence, because I don't struggle with being human. Therefore, I perfect being human. You struggle with it, which is a glitch in your matrix, and you don't go on to excellence in humanity as far as your humanity. See, when you don't struggle with being human, you actually ironically go into perfection. When you're struggling with it, you can't move forward because you're guilty about being imperfect. You're guilty about being imperfect. Therefore, you can't perfect yourself because you got these hang-ups. See, I don't have those hang-ups. I know who I am. I know what I do and I don't do. I don't care what the devil and these people try to bring across my mind. I know that's not what I do. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You struggle with it. And if you out here playing with people, you're going to struggle with it. You're going to be the craziest people out here. The people that's out here judging, guess what? You're going to be the craziest people out here, because all of those things that you set up against other people, life is going to be set up against you, and you're going to fail your test. Oh, watch what I tell you. All that little stuff, that psychological stuff you're doing, you're going to go out into the world on your own, and everything is going to feel like a big test, because you've been walking in that perspective, creating those operations for other people. So everything in the world is going to look like a big test to you when it comes to children and sexuality. Boom. Oh, that's the karma you get. You can't play with other people like that. And then don't expect to get tested yourself. Your brain is going to work against you. Your own brain. It's probably already happening to many of you. Glad I covered that. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. But that doesn't let you off the hook, all of you who are marrying children and having sex with the high school girls. See, you're not the type of person like the rest of us are, to have some questionable in our sexual history, something that, we taking to the grave, we ain't telling everybody the full details, it's too disgusting. We're not going to tell everybody. Okay. That's just humans. They're going to take some stuff to the grave, but you're not that type of, that's not who you are. You're not the person that has a human experience that has something questionable in their sexuality. Like most of us, you're not that person. You're the person that grows totally up when the rest of us, like we all grow up and we say, oh, okay, I'm going to be a guardian of children. That's what most of us say. We're going to be a protector of children. If that doesn't happen to you, there's something's not normal about you. Maybe, I give you the benefit of the doubt if you're special needs or something like that, or you have a form of retardation or some type of mental sickness or something. But if you're a normal person and you don't want to protect children and you don't have that in your heart, something's not normal, right? Now, things can happen, wars can happen, and things can change as far as who you have, who you feel you want to have well-being. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you become an adult and you set in your heart, I am a protector of children. Now you see that I'm pure for real because I think just like you think. Oh, if you're not, come on. You don't want to be human, do you? See, I'm just like you. but they're not like us when they're marrying children in 44 states. They're not like us. Because I said in my heart, I'm a protector. I protect children. I would lay down my life for other people's children. That's how I used to be. Now that war has broke out and all these wars, all these lies have went about concerning me, hey, their children is in the hands of God. That's all I can tell you. And it don't look good because you've been going around playing games with other people's integrity and character. Little did you know I was a protector of children. That's why you're in trouble like you are. Because I didn't have anybody to put me into fear to make me be that way. I set my heart as an adult to be that way. Right? Now it's not my issue. Yeah. Okay? How I am still a part of the pack is I'm revealing from afar in my position, outranking you all, I'm revealing about 44 states with child marriage. That's where I'm at now. I've taken it to the next level, actually. See, God is good. Because I'm still doing what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. After all, I'm still protecting children. See, that's what real adults think like. Right? So I'm wondering, how do someone who is human like we are, that think about protecting children and being a guardian to children, I'm wondering how they come from being a guardian and protector to going and sitting down passing laws for people to have sex with high school girls and marry children. And they just passed the last law 3 years ago. They supposed to be human like us, where they think they are protectors. They are guardians of children. Why are these people still passing child marriage laws just 3 years ago? They're not like us. They are the ones that need to be checked. This is the revolution, because that way of thinking is too extreme to have them in power. It's too extreme, bro. It's one thing to go, okay, you go out and do something, right? I don't justify that. You go out and do something on a Saturday night, you grope some teenage girls or something, right? That's one thing. They sat down and passed laws for people to marry and have sex with them. It's too extreme of a perspective that contradicts adults' mindsets for them to remain in power. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This isn't no stuff that's going to bring a slap on the wrist. Ask yourself, that's like you sitting down signing papers for people to marry children. Now, would you do that? What would you have become to do that? Think about it. What would it take? What would it be? What would happen? What have happened to you? What has to happen to you for you to do that? For you to sit down and say, okay, I'm make sure I'm get people married to children. You sign the papers literally. You see how corrupt that feels? Like you've become a monster. Yet that's what your government has done. Now you see what I'm saying. How far removed it is from the adult psychological makeup. That's why I question their manhood and their sanity. Everybody around here is diagnosing everybody. Won't you diagnose these people with 44 states marrying children? Won't you diagnose them? Yeah. Won't you diagnose these people who just passed child marriage laws 3 years ago? Yeah, won't you diagnose them? Because you've esteemed all these politicians as perfect and holy and sound of mind. Humanity shows you it's no way in the world any group of people can all be sound-minded. I don't care what it is. You got sports. You telling me ain't no bipolar people in basketball or football? You telling me ain't no bipolar people in the NBA? You telling me ain't no mental sickness in the NBA? You telling me ain't no mental sickness in the NFL? Ain't no mental sickness in hockey. Ain't no mental sickness in golf. Ain't no mental sickness among these musicians. You already know that. Marilyn Monroe was bipolar. She's one of the most beautiful American women of all time. She was bipolar. You love her. You still love her. It's plenty of musicians that are bipolar. Mariah Carey. I like Mariah Carey's music. I have liked it in the past, but we all know she's bipolar too. It's not a death sentence, right? It's not a death sentence. I'm just pointing out the fact that you look at politics, I'll show you all these different fields where people have mental sickness, right? They're diagnosed with something, right? And it's no disrespect to those who are. I am just normalizing actually mental sickness and diagnoses. I'm normalizing it because I'm showing you that it's in politics too. So it ain't no bipolar people in top politics. I'm normalizing this. I'm not stigmatizing it. I'm not demonizing it. I am normalizing it. Kanye West, he's bipolar too. And you mean to tell me all these politicians, none of them are bipolar? None of them have no mental sickness? Come on, man. And you think about how you've been thinking. Let's go to how you've been thinking, right? Let's go to how you've been thinking. Do you really think, have you really pondered it? I ain't talking about picking at people. I ain't talking about saying they just crazy. Have you really thought in your heart of hearts? I'm talking about the average American, because I didn't do it. So I know half of y'all didn't do it either. Did you think in your heart of hearts that some of these politicians are mentally sick? And I'm not talking about picking at people. I'm talking about sick for real. Diagnosed with something. Should be diagnosed with something. Huh? And that's what you didn't think about. You didn't think about, in all actuality, some of these politicians are mentally sick. Because there's no way you can tell me 44 states with child marriage is sound of mind. You listen, man, you can't feed me that, bro. You can't feed me that because I know what sound of mind people think like. And they adults, they are guardians. They are protectors of children, right? That's a normal perspective of children. You're not going to sexualize them. You're not going to give in to lies that people may say about you in your interactions with children. Even if you're angry, you're not going to give in to what they're trying to say, right? So if you like that, explain why they like they are. Explain how they deviate totally to where it's 44 states with child marriage. Tell me how they do that. Being like you. Let's just say they were like you, right? Let's just say they were like you. How do they get that far in the wrong direction? How do they get that far in the wrong direction? And that's why I'm saying it's too extreme of a deviation away from human thinking and the human adult perspective of protecting children for them to remain in power. They are monsters. Don't you see that? Well, how can you explain you being human, how they're doing it, but you wouldn't dare to do it? It's the furthest thing away from your mind is to marry children to adults. So explain to me why it's 44 states with child marriage. Explain to me why the last law was passed concerning child marriage 3 years ago. 3 years ago? So this is a relevant perspective. Safe to say that, right? 3 years ago isn't a long time ago. Just a year before COVID. Not a long time ago. So how can you voucher for that? That's the other question. How can you voucher for that? How do you plan to voucher for that? Keeping your own integrity. That's a 7 hour. How are you going to keep your own integrity and character trying to defend them? You're going to lose your own integrity trying to defend them. Oh, that's not the case? So we still supposed to esteem you as a sexually pure person when you're defending this perspective. At the end of the day, you're not defending people. You're defending a perspective when you defend America. You're defending a pedophile perspective that it's cool to be with children underage. In 44 states with child marriage, the age of consent under 18 in 40 states. The last law passed for child marriage 3 years ago. You're defending a perspective. Many of you who defend this or defend America, you're not even putting a face on who done it. You're defending a perspective. Therefore, you have no character and integrity because your perspective has become this perspective. That's a 7. Oh, whoa. You can't defend that and call yourself a person of integrity. You got to come on in, guys. I tell you, like the police tell somebody, you got to come on in, turn yourself in, man. You can go out, you can hide out there all you want. You can run around all you want, but you're going to get tired. You're going to get tired. You're going to get tired of running from this truth. And you will realize eventually, like I have, that they no longer need to be in power. They have deviated from you and I, our perspective concerning children, things that we wouldn't think of doing, things we would rather die before doing. You cannot esteem them as us. You can't esteem them as people like you. You can't just slap that character on people and they're not living it. I'm not doing it. I'm not slapping no character on anyone, anybody, if they're not living it. They're not living it. I don't have any child fantasies. I don't have any child crushes. I can show you even with your favorite musicians. Like, for example, Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus, yeah, I got to do this, and this is no disrespect, but this is going to be correction. Because these two individuals that I'm going to name is people that you highly respect, but they sexualized a child, right? Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus was sexualized by Eminem, the rapper Eminem, and Drake. Go listen to the songs that Drake made, the sex lines that Drake made about Miley Cyrus. He said, when you turn a certain age, I'll be waiting, Miley Cyrus. Y'all don't remember that line? You know what I'm talking about. I'm paraphrasing. But Drake said, whenever you're ready, come Miley Cyrus or something like that. Right? Insinuating when she's old enough, come holler at him. Go look it up. Drake and lyrics and Miley Cyrus. Google it. Drake, lyrics, Miley Cyrus. You'll see the song. Eminem also mentioned Miley Cyrus. He mentioned her in the song where he says, Hannah Montana. That's how he put it. He talked about masturbating to Hannah Montana. That's not a joke, man. Listen, man, that's shock rap gone wrong. See, the truth of the matter is, you didn't really care about these things back then. Now the war has broken out and now everybody's sensitive. Okay, so why y'all ain't say nothing about those two artists talking about sexualizing Miley Cyrus while she was still a kid? Eminem said Hannah Montana. She was not 18. He said he was masturbating to Hannah Montana. Drake said, basically, when you're ready, come holler at me, Miley Cyrus. Man, most people who know music back and forth, you know exactly what song I'm talking about. Don't sit here in front. You know exactly what song, because it was shocking. Everybody heard it. So these men seen a child and had thoughts. Can we agree with that? Enough thoughts to sit down and write on it. Not only did they have the thoughts, they sit down and wrote it and recorded it. Things then begin to change then. That was about 2009. Now go look at the culture starting from 2009. That's the 7th hour. Because the shift started around 2009 when people begin to sexualize children culturally. Because this wouldn't have been accepted like in the 90s. These people would have esteemed you as a pervert. Like, why is he talking about that little kid in the song, man? Nah, that's not cool, bro. Nah, I ain't feeling that. I'm drunk right now. I don't want to hear nothing about no kid. I'm drunk right now. I'm drunk right now. I don't want to hear nothing about nobody playing with no kids, man. Man, turn that off, man. I'm drunk right now, man. That got my mind why I supposed to do? That's how people would have been in the 90s, right? Nah, see, we got to keep it 100, man. Because, see, these are the people you love and protect. But you don't protect children. That's the 7th hour. Yeah. I remember both of those. I had the album that Eminem made where he was talking about Hannah Montana. I think that's the Stay Wide Awake song. Stay Wide Awake. It's definitely from the Relapse album. For Eminem, it's the Relapse album. I'm pretty sure it's Wide Awake where he's talking about Hannah Montana. We all know Hannah Montana was not 18. Hannah Montana was 18. And that's what I'm saying. It's when people go beyond the thought of, oh, that person, she's cute or he's cute, to, oh, I wanna do something sexual. I don't have all the songs I made. It's nothing I know is questionable. Where I'm talking about children. If anything, I remember talking about the Casey Anthony case, the woman who killed her, who was convicted for killing her own child. I talked about that like she should get punishment. And that was 2009. See, that's where my mind was at. Even then, bro. And you wonder how you think I just became like that. See, listen, here's the thing. I'm not crazy concerning children like some of these abortion clinic bombers are. I don't want you to get it twisted. I'm talking about justice, purity, and equality for all. Don't sit up and don't try to sit up and persecute somebody or prosecute somebody, and your whole culture got it everywhere. That's what I'm saying. Don't sit up and act like you're so holy and holier than thou when you have a whole culture that's showing pedophilia. You got 44 states with child marriage, and you're acting holier than thou. That's what I'm saying. You don't have no room to do it. That's what I'm saying. That's my passion. That's my foundational argument. You don't have no room to be doing it. That's what I'm insinuating through all of these videos. There are no perfect people, but you had the audacity to sit up and play with people, and here you are with 44 states with child marriage, bro. I don't care what they belong to. I don't care what group it is. You are American citizens. If you have an American citizen social security card, social security number, you are American, oblivious and ignorant to your own community. Well, I don't care what you're doing. I don't think if you think it's a joke, I don't care what it is. It's ridiculous when you have 44 states with child marriage. Yeah, it's ridiculous either way. You think you're evil? How are you evil, bro? It doesn't faze me when you got 44 states with child marriage. Yeah, that's what's humiliating. Yeah, ain't nothing more humiliating than that. Well, look, if somebody felt bad about it, I'd be 100 with you. If any pedophile felt bad about what they was doing and they looked to 44 states with child marriage, I think that'll clear right up. What you think? I think that'll clear right on up if you had any hang-ups or felt guilty about what you did. Look what America did. They marrying children. They got the age of consent under 18 in 40 states, which means adults can have sex with high school children. So some pedophiles will feel like, hey, in all actuality, they think just like I think. Well, what's the difference? You have a pedophile, by definition, is someone who has an adult first that has sexual desire for children. There's many type of fouls, obsessions, if you will. A pedophile is I had it wrote down. It's a word. It comes from French, I think, and Latin, and Greek, or Greek and French, but it's definitely Greek and maybe Latin, and it means love children, right? But this pedophile obviously is an adult that has sexual desire for children. So you tell me what that is. Eminem talking about Hannah Montana, that's sexual desire for children. Drake talking about what's her name? Miley Cyrus, come see him when she becomes an adult. That's sexual desire presently for a child. I know. See, you wasn't aware of it. You wasn't paying attention to it. You didn't really see it as like how people see it now. Now that everything done heated up, now you see it differently, don't you? That's what I'm trying to show you. Your whole American culture was blind and didn't even care about it. Now your eyes are open because humanity has went to another level. Humanity as a whole has went to another level, right? And now you see the difference. See, that's what happens with time. You see your errors, you see your flaws, you see your faults. You see the faults of all of this, slavery, all of the stuff that has happened. That's why you can't sit back and be hypocrites, because we're going to look back at your history and show you who you are as a nation. Even in entertainment, with your most popular artists right now, Drake and Eminem. Now you can't even see them the same, can you? You can't see Eminem the same. Talking about having jacking off to Hannah Montana. Listen, man, maybe I'm cut from a different cloth. Maybe I'm cut from a different cloth. When I became an adult, I started thinking like a child protector. Like, I protect children. Maybe I should have joined the military. I don't see children like that. I see them as needed to be protected out in society, right? That's how I see it. And maybe because I am a dangerous individual, so I'm used to, okay, this is a child zone. Can't think about harming anyone around here. if I have to. You know what I mean? That's probably part of it. That's probably part of it. But see, this is what I'm saying. And see, none of your community, none of these people said nothing about those Drake lyrics or those Eminem lyrics. They didn't say anything about it. Like I said, only if you want to find it, it's for Drake for Eminem, it's the Wide Awake song on the Eminem Relapse album. It's the Wide Awake song. That's a 7. See, I'm wide awake. See how that works? That's synchronicity. That's a 7 Al. On Eminem's song, the Wide Awake song, he talks about Hannah Montana masturbating to Hannah Montana. Okay? Hannah Montana was never 18. We can establish that, right? There was never an 18-year-old in Hannah Montana, was there? Was there? And come on, man. The Hannah Montana that everybody saw was not 18. But if Hannah Montana made it to 18, nobody was watching then. And she wasn't 18, if I'm not mistaken, when he made that reference. So she couldn't have been, because she wasn't. Same thing, obviously, Drake made it obviously clear she wasn't 18, because he said when she gets of age, I'm insinuating what he said, when she turns 18, come holler at him. So obviously she was not. See, this has been the way y'all thought this whole time. But you tried to play me. You tried to play me and try to make me a scapegoat for fun. And now your whole community is being smashed on. It's just how it is. It's nothing personal. Listen, I supported both of those artists. But when it comes down to all out war, as far as understanding what our community do and don't do, then listen, man, everybody, listen, if I got to be on the chopping block, everybody got to be on the chopping block. That's how I see it. I ain't throwing nobody under the bus. I'm just saying, pass the same judgment to everybody, especially when they say stuff that is definitely questionable. Yeah, absolutely. It's called being just. The same judgment you're giving to me, go give it to people that actually put it on record. That's what I'm saying. When obviously they were adults. Eminem was a fully grown man. Drake was a fully grown man. Talking about Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana. Man, come on, man. Listen, I know how to acknowledge beauty. Make sure the person's 18. And if they're not, I'm not thinking about them that way. That's how a man is supposed to be. Man, you can't tell me I'm the only person like that. I know I'm not. You got people that's locked up for sure. I know they like that. They not thinking about Hannah Montana. They not thinking about Miley Cyrus. All these prisoners are not thinking about Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana, man. They would not be masturbating thinking about Hannah Montana. And there's your two famous one of your most two famous superstars right there in your American country. They just as American as apple pie. Eminem and Drake. Although Drake is from Canada, he just as American as apple pie, bro. Listen, man, it takes real men to admit, okay, I shouldn't have said that. Because I know I wouldn't have maybe wouldn't have engaged in it, but I had a sexual thought at that time for someone that obviously was underage. You got to take responsibility for that. Because if you don't, what happens is, man, people start, listen, we don't see the full spectrum of what's really going on. That's the best way I could put it. Let's see the real spectrum of what's really going on and what's really being said and done. Because what you're trying to do is trying to make famous pedophiles and people you think are pedophiles and make fame. I'm showing you people that actually have sexual desire for children that are famous. Listen, the circus ain't working that you're making, bro. I'm talking about these gang stalkers, the Freemasons, the Illuminati. Listen, man, I just showed you your two most famous superstars in your country that's relevant, still alive and well and alive. And look at that. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, listen, man. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, secret society something, man. You don't want to go to war with me, man. You don't want to go to war with me, man. Listen, America is too sexually charged for you to go to war with me. Man, we're going to pull all of this out the bag, man, and everybody going to want to kill themselves. Except for me and mine. Yeah, man, this place is too sexually charged for you to have a sexual purity, a pure sexual conversation about sexual purity, man. You can't be serious, bro. I mean, you really can't. America is one of the most sexually charged countries, if not the most sexually charged countries, for you to go around witch hunting people talking about pedophiles. Don't you realize that now? If you haven't realized it before, you realize it now, don't you? This is one of the most sexually charged places, and here you are talking about a pedophile when you are in one of the most sexually charged countries in the world. Not to mention, you have the world record for the lowest age of consent, which was in the state of Delaware in 1880, where the American government passed a law for the state of Delaware to have sex with 7-year-old girls. This place has been sexually charged since 1880, not 1980, 100 years before 1980. 111 years before I was born. 111, that's a 7. Ow, oh, whoa. I was born 1981. This law was passed 1880. This law was effective 1880, 100 years. Well, that's 101, actually. That's still a 7, 2 1s. So I was born 101 years after this country had passed a law. That's still a 7, 101. 2 digits, same digit. That's a 7 out. So it's 101. I was born 101 years after they passed a law to have sex with children that were 7 years old in the state of Delaware here in America. This place has been sexually charged 101 years before I was born. Now speed up, you marrying children in 44 states. You just passed your last child marriage law 3 years ago. You still got the ball rolling. You still have the ball rolling. You still got that ball rolling, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, and ain't none of these people said nothing about Eminem and Drake having those lyrics and these desires for one girl. Ain't none of y'all said nothing about the Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus, and y'all wonder why she be on there gyrating and acting weird. Because all of y'all was lusting after her probably. You explain to me why she was up there gyrating like that. Weird like that. She's kind of evened out now, but why you think she was like that? All that sexual energy was coming towards her. Vibrations are real. That's a 7 out. All that vibration was vibrational molestation. Vibrational child molestation, where they have sexual vibrations towards a child. Boom. I'm going to do a video about that. Vibrational sexual child molestation, where these individuals have sexual vibrations towards a child. Energy is vibrations. Sexual desire is energy in vibration, and that is projected towards children in your community. You can't be sizing up, and I did a video about this that's close to it, You can't be sexually sizing up children before they're adults. Listen, man, who you mad at, me or them? I didn't cause them to write those lyrics. I didn't cause y'all to put 44 states with child marriage out there. Yeah. Yeah. And you think I'm going to sit back and not say nothing? In a perfect world. But listen, come on. It's understandable. Nobody is exempt from being examined concerning this. When you have all this foolishness out here in this community. Ain't nobody ignorant of that. Ain't nobody ignorant of it. And I'm not saying they're the worst people in the world. I'm not saying all of that. I'm saying that the facts are the facts. They were adults that had sexual desire for those who were underage. For Miley Cyrus, who was underage. You shouldn't be projecting sexual vibration towards children, sexually sizing them up. Even if you say you're waiting for them. Nah, not that either. Because you're already looking at them a certain way. You're already checking out a child in a sexual way, like as if you would check out a woman in the woman's goods. You're checking out the body of children. You sizing them up. You checking them out that way. It's safe to say the Eminem lyrics was checking out Miley Cyrus that way, Hannah Montana that way. Safe to say the Drake lyric was checking out Miley Cyrus that way. That's what I'm saying. It's a double standard. It's a huge double standard. That's why I always say in America, it's not what you do, it's who you are that's doing it. And I proved it. I proved it. You wasn't concerned about that. The government, other people wasn't concerned about that lyric, were they? Yeah, they were banning all kind of stuff other times, all these other lyrics other times. Oh, y'all didn't say nothing about that, did you? Uh-huh. You know the people that's responsible for prosecuting lyrics per se? We didn't hear him say nothing about the Drake lyric and the Eminem lyric talking about Miley Cyrus, did we? Yeah, we didn't hear nothing about it, did we? Yeah, because those are your beloveds. Those are the people that you are endeared with. That's why I said it's not what you do. It's not what you do in America. It's who you are. I proved it. The American government marrying children in 44 states. The American government is marrying children in 44 states. That's what they're doing. So it's not what you do, it's who you are. Say it with me, guys. It's not what you do, it's who you are. It's not what you do, it's who you are that's doing it. The American government, they're marrying children. But you persecute the guy that's down the street, the weirdo guy that's down the street at the park. You persecute the weirdo guy that's down the street at the park lusting after children, but you don't prosecute the American government that has child marriage, which is nothing but a contract of pedophilia. Well, a child is not capable of being compatible with a man or a woman. They don't understand the responsibility of a marriage. They don't understand the concept of a marriage, the oneness of a marriage, the oneness of a marriage. So how can you say it's child marriage? That's a Jedi mind trick. That's a 7 hour. Yeah, it's a Jedi mind trick. Because there's no such thing of a child marriage. It's no such thing as a child marriage, man. Right? A child can't be, that's like saying a child fireman. How can there be a child fireman? Huh? A child cop. How's a child gonna be out on the beat? Huh? How's a child gonna be out on the beat? That's a 7 hour. But yet you can have a child husband. But yet you can have a child wifey. But you can't have a child policeman, can you? You can't have a child bar a grill a child grill burger grill cooker at a restaurant, can you? Can you have a child cooking burgers at McDonald's on the grill? You can't have a grill worker at McDonald's, a child grill worker at McDonald's, can you? So listen, you can't have a child that go get cigarettes, can you? A child can't buy alcohol, but they can have sex. How funny is that? That points more to pedophilia because they can't do nothing else but sex. I know, you'll get it later. You'll get it later. They can't do nothing but sex, which makes them a sexual object. They're not responsible for anything else, which would even out. Okay, if you're doing all of this, doing all of that, then it would be easy to say that